Yes. Hello everyone. Myself Jayesh Roykar, and today we will start our basic electronics engineering part. Okay. So in the previous class we have discussed about the course structure or course syllabus, then objective, and then uh, the reference books which are there given in the syllabus. Okay. So we'll start today with the basic electronics part. So we'll start with the uh, what is an electronics. Okay, what is an electronics, that we will start with. So what is an electronics? So if when you turn on a light in your home, okay, so what happens when you turn on your light in home? You're connecting some source of electrical energy, okay, to the light bulb in order to complete that particular path. Okay, so that is known as an electrical circuit first. So what is electrical circuits? So when you turn on light in your home, you are connecting a source of electrical energy. Okay, usually this is supplied by the company like MSCB or something like that to a light bulb, and in order to complete that particular path. So we'll complete that path. Okay, and that is known as electrical circuit. Now if you want to add some kind of dimmer, okay, dimmer in the light bulb in order to make the intensity of that particular light bulbs to low or high, that is called as dimmer. So if you add a dimmer or a timer to the light bulb, okay, then you can control that operation of that light bulb. Okay, like even you can switching it off or on. Okay, basically depends upon the applications, or you can say basically depends upon your dimmer. Okay, so the electrical circuit, then we can control the light bulb. Likewise we can see it here in this diagram. Okay, so dimmer. Okay, so dimmer part, it can either be switch off the light bulb, or you can say switch on the light bulb. Also it can vary the intensity of that light bulb. So that is your controlling action. Okay, so electrical system uses electrical current to power the things like light bulbs, and some of the kitchen appliances or any appliances, electrical appliances. So this is what the electrical system. So electrical system uses electrical current to power the things. Okay, whereas your electrical system, it takes a further step. Okay, so it control the current. Okay, it control the current. Likewise we have seen in likewise in the dimmer. Okay, we can intensity of that particular light bulb, we can increase, we can decrease. So, okay, so it control the current. So, okay, and then it can be, you can say it can be switched it on or switched it off. Then likewise the fluctuation of the current also possible, then directions of the current. Okay, and of course if you add some timer kind of things into your dimmer, okay, timer kind of things to your circuit. Okay, so in that way you can adjust, you can say that light bulbs according to the timing also. Okay, so one of the example is I have taken it as a dimming of the light bulbs, which you can see. Okay, also in right now you can see on the Amazon or somewhere, that is there are surrounding bulbs are also available. Okay, so depending upon your daylights, okay, so they will synchronize with your daylights, or you can say custom identity. For example, if somewhat on Monday you can make it as a green light, on Tuesday you can make it as white light, okay, yellow light. Likewise there is a customization is also possible. Okay, so synchronization with the daylight or synchronization with the day, it is also possible, and many more things are there. So this control of electrical system, this control distinguishes your electrical system to electronic system. Okay, so what I told you about electrical system, so electrical system uses a current to power the electronic equipment, or you can say equipments, and then electronic system is about to control that particular you can say equipments. It's used to control that particular equipments. Likewise example has been given like this dimmer, or you can say this is what the complete path of your particular circuit where we have used dimmer in that. Okay, yes, anyone is there? No. Okay, so we'll come to the next slide. So next one we will talk about what is an electricity. Okay, so electrical charge we will discuss about. So what is electrical charge? It is nothing but a fundamental property of a certain particles, fundamental property of a certain particles that describes how they interact with each other. Fundamental property of a certain particles that describes how they interact with each other. Okay, so this is what your electric charge. Okay, so there are two types of electric charges are there, like positive charge is there, then negative charge is there. Okay, positive and negative. So if we have a particle of the same type, like positive positive, or you can say negative negative, so they repel each other. Okay, if they are of same type, like positive positive, they repel each other. If they are of same type, like negative negative, they also repel each other. Okay, but if you see that particle of opposite type, like positive negative, they attract each other. Okay, they attract each other. How you can experience these things? How you can experience these things? So you can experience these things with the help of a magnet. Okay, you can experience these things, or you can say how this attract or repels each other, that you can experience with the phenomena of magnet. Okay, that is attraction or repulsion. So if you place, okay, so if you see in the magnet, so it has two poles, north pole and south pole. Okay, so if you place that north pole of a bar magnet, okay, near to the south pole, okay, north pole near to the south pole, okay, you will find that magnet attract each other. So all the poles, or you can say that bars, will attract each other. And if instead of that, if you place a north pole near to the north pole, you can observe that that particular magnet repel each other. Okay, so this is what some mini experiments will give you some idea about what happens with the protons and electrons. Okay, so that we will coming back to that point also. Okay, so next we will talk about this electrical energy. Okay, we'll talk about electrical energy. So what is electrical energy? It is nothing but a form of energy which is caused by the electrically charged particles. Now we have already seen what are the electrical charged particles, what are the charges, that is positive charge or negative charges. Okay, and how this behave, how these charged particles behave, that is called as its energy, and that energy related to electrical energy. So what is electrical energy? Electrical energy, again I am redefining this, form of energy which is caused by the behavior of electrically charged particles. Okay, then we'll talk about electric current. What is the electric current? So the movement, or you can say the flow. Okay, electric current is nothing but the movement or the flow of electrically charged particle. This is what the electric current, movement or flow or of electrically charged particle. So what is electrical energy? It is nothing but the energy which is caused by the behavior of electrical charged particles. What is electrical current? It's nothing but the movement, or you can say flow, of that particular charged particles. Now coming back to the electrical currents again. So what is electrical current? So sometimes we can call this electrical current as electricity, as an electricity. And what is that? That is nothing but the movement in the same direction. Movement in the same direction of, you can say, electrically charged particles. So whenever your electrons moves in the direction of that particular current, okay, that is, you can say, electric current is there. So where do you find this electrons? Where do you exactly find this, you can say, particular electrons? So movement of electrons we have talked about. So where do you find these electrons? How do they move around? Okay, how do they move around? So in order to find this answer, let us go inside to the atom. So what is the atom next? So next PPT is we are exploring about an atom. So what is atom? So what is atom? The definition is given here, is that atoms are basic building blocks of everything in the universe. Atoms are the basic building blocks of everything in the universe. Okay, we can say that it may be a natural, it may be a man-made. So whether they are natural or man-made, it is the basic building blocks of everything in the universe. Okay, so how the atoms looks like? They are very small or very teeny, you can say that, and you can find it millions of them in a single, you can say, single point of the dust. Single point of dust, you can find millions of atoms in single point of a dust. So every atoms, you can say, contains of the subatomic particles. Okay, what are those subatomic particles? The first subatomic particle is your proton. Okay, what are the subatomic particles? One is proton, then neutrons and electrons. You can see it here also. Okay, so what is proton? So protons, it is a positively charged particles, or you can say proton carry a positive charge. Okay, proton carry a positive charge, and that proton exists inside the nucleus, or you can say it is at the center of the atom. Proton It is in the center of the atom or inside the nucleus. Then what about the neutron? Neutron does not have any electric charge. So it exists along with the proton inside the nucleus. Okay. So what I was telling, so proton, it is positively charged, neutron does not have charge, and both are exist inside the nucleus. Both exists inside the nucleus. Okay, nucleus. What about electrons? So electrons carry a negatively charged. Okay, these electrons, you can see it here, the electrons carry negatively charged. Okay, and they are located outside to the nucleus. They are located outside to the nucleus. So if maybe you have learned about these atoms or something like that. Okay, so you can visualize that. So electrons are now where they are placed. They are located outside to the nucleus. Protons and neutrons, okay, they are inside to the nucleus. Protons are positive charge and neutrons are negative charge. Sorry, neutrons are does not have charge and electrons are negatively charged. Okay, so you don't have to worry about exactly where the electrons of particular atoms is located. Okay, we are not looking for that, where this particular electrons is located. Just to know that the electrons is around, or you can say outside to the nucleus. Okay, and that some are closer to the nucleus and some are you can say far away from the nucleus. Okay, so this that particular distance. Okay, so the specific combinations of, you can say, electrons, protons and neutrons, specific combinations of electrons, protons and neutrons in particular atom. Likewise here you have seen it in helium. Okay, so there is a specific combinations of how many protons should be there, electrons should be there, neutrons should be there in an particular atoms. Okay, this defines the what type of atom is, and then what are the substances that atom made up of, what are the substances and what type of atom. Okay, and that kind of things you can see it in the periodic table of elements. So that is particular thing. So combination of protons, electrons and neutrons. Okay, we are calling these particular things as an elements. Okay, and what is that elements? If you remember that periodic table of elements, okay, in the chemistry classes or somewhere. Okay, so, or you can say physics classes. So so that you can remember the periodic table of elements. What is the periodic table of elements? So so we'll talk about group 3, group 4 and group 5 elements. Okay, so for example here I have shown you the representation of, you can say, helium atom. So this helium atom, you can see that it consists of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Okay, this helium atom consists of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Okay, come to the next. This is what your copper atom, which consists of 29 protons, 35 neutrons. Okay, and then it has 29 electrons. Okay, 29 protons, 35 neutrons and 29 electrons. Okay, so this is what one of the copper atom. So what happens under the normal conditions? Now you can see that now protons inside the nucleus, neutron inside the nucleus, and your electrons are outside to the nucleus. Okay, it is somewhere in that particular shape. Okay, in the circular shape that you can see, that you have already seen in your previous, okay, in the previous years. Okay, previous years of studies. Okay, so now if you see that particular orbital structure is there. Okay, so under the normal circumstances, so every atom, okay, every atom has equal number of protons and equal number of electrons. Okay, that you have already seen. Likewise in the form of copper, or in the form of helium atom. Okay, so equal number of protons, equal number of electrons. Okay, and that particular atom is said to be then electrically neutral. That atom is said to electrically neutral. Okay, you can see that in the helium atom there are 2 protons and 2 electrons are there, whereas if you see the copper atom, it has 29 electrons and 29 you can say protons. Now we'll talk about that attractive force. So the attractive force, which is in between your proton, which is positively charged, and electrons, that is your negatively charged. So as we have already seen that protons, or you can say positively charged particles, attracts negatively charged particles. So there must be an attractive force. So this attractive force between the proton and electrons, it's like a glue, invisible glue. they holds each that protons and electrons, they holds that particular atom together. Okay, for example, the gravitational force. Okay, how our earth is keeps in the moon within that particular site. So with the help of gravitational force is there. So coming to, so when we talk about this particular force, okay, so the electrons which is closer to the nucleus, okay, the electron which is closer to the nucleus, okay, they are having a stronger force. Okay, they are having stronger force than the electrons which is farther, or you can say far away from the nucleus. Okay, so electrons are revolving around the nucleus, and okay, electrons are around the nucleus, and the distance between the electrons and the protons, okay, electrons and protons, or you can say electrons or the nucleus, you can say specifically. So if the distance is less, then the stronger force will be there. If the distance is far away, okay, then the force is, you can say, weaker. The force is gone weaker, and this is what where the electric current, or you can say how this conduction is taken place. This is what the concept of behind it. Okay, so coming back to the next PPT, we'll talk about the PPT about this conductor. Okay, about this conductor, about the insulator. So what is conductor? So we have this the material. Okay, the material which are able to conduct the electricity, we are calling it as a conductor. The material which tends to conductor are the material. Okay, so conductors, you can say they conducts. That's why the name is a conductor. So conductor are the material. Okay, for example, we have a copper, we have a silver or aluminum or some other metals are there. Okay, so these are the examples of conductor. Okay, these are the example of electrical conductor, or you can simply say that it's a conductor. So what happens here in this case? So in that particular material, they're having some loosely bound outer electrons. Okay, these materials have loosely bound outer electrons. Okay, and that is called as electrical conductors or simply conductors. For example, we have a copper. So we can say that copper is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, because it contains a single loosely bound electrons in the outermost cell, or you can say outermost. So that outermost, you can say cell. Okay, so copper is good conductor because it contains a single loosely bound electrons. Okay, if you remember that particular orbital structure of this atoms, okay, so you can see that there is only one single atom which is loosely bound in terms of copper. Okay, and what about the insulators? Insulators means they do not conduct. Insulators means they do not conduct. Okay, there is one more you can say type of material is there, that is called as semiconductor. Okay, we'll come back to that semiconductor material. Okay, first we will see what is this you can say conductor and insulator. So conductor, so the material containing loosely bound outer electrons are called as electrical conductor, or the material which tends to keep their electrons, okay, which is very bound to that particular nucleus, are classified as, you can say, are called as insulator or electrical insulator, you can say that. So for example, we have air, glass, or you can say a paper or plastics. These are the good form of insulators or good material of insulators, so they do not conduct. So like you can say we have rubber like polymers are there, we generally used, okay, in order to insulate our electrical wiring. Okay, this is one of the, again, one of the example of, you can say, insulator. So what happens, what happens inside the conductor? So in conductor, the outer electrons of each atom are bound so loosely that you can say many of them are break free, and they can jump around atom from one atom to other atom. Okay, if I go back, okay, if I go back, so you can see there this is what the copper atom. Okay, this is what the copper atom. So how many how many protons or electrons are there in the copper atom? 29. Okay, this is what the orbital structure of this, you can say, copper atom, and you can see it here, one loosely, you can say, one outer electrons is there in the outermost cell of the copper. Okay, which is again farther, you can say, from this nucleus. This is what the nucleus. So as I told you about, there is a strong force whenever the electrons are near to the nucleus. Okay, whenever these electrons are near to the nucleus. Now you can see that in this case, copper atom, these electrons are, you can say, bounded particularly, but this is what one of the free electrons, or you can say this electrons is loosely bounded, you can say loosely bounded with these atoms. Okay, with this atom, with this nucleus. So the concept is that now the concept comes. Okay, I will explain you about this conductivity. Okay, I'm explaining about the conductivity. So what is the concept? So you can see that this loosely bound electron is there in the copper atom. Okay, and now in abnormal conditions, okay, so they can become free, or this particular electrons, they can jump from one atom to another atom. This is what the concept. So they are jumping from one atom to another atom. Okay, and that is called as drift. Okay, so but you can say that they don't move very far. Okay, these electrons, they don't move far away. Okay, how much they move very instant, or you can say very instant, or in any particular directions they move. Okay, so how they move? Okay, we need to give them one push. Okay, so we need to give them push. Okay, so as here you can say, in conductors, the outer electrons of each atoms are bound so loosely that many of them break free or jump around from atom to atom. Okay, so outer electrons, they don't move. Okay, outer electrons, they don't move, but if we give a bit of push in one direction, if we give a bit of push in one direction, they quickly get organized, and then they move together. Okay, they move together in that particular direction. Okay, so in normal conditions they don't move. Okay, if we give some bit of push to this particular electrons, they start moving from one atom to another atom. So these electrons will start move from one atom to another atom. Okay, this is what the concept. Okay, and what is that particular bit of push? That bit of push, this is what is explained in this next PPT, or this PPT. So external force. Okay, so you can say that mobilization of electrons in order to create a current. Mobilization means movement of electrons in order to create current. Okay, so you can remember electric current, we are calling this electric current as an electricity. Okay, so it is nothing but the movement of electrons in the direction through the conductor. Okay, so this is what the electricity or electric current. So what is electric current? It is nothing but the movement of electrons in particular direction, or in the same direction all the electrons will move through a conductor. Conductor means who conducts, that is conductor. Okay, when they start moving, when we apply an external force, when we apply an external push to that electrons. What is electric current? Electric current, it is nothing but the displacement of electrons in the same direction through the conductor when we apply external force, or you can say external push. And what is that external force or external push? That is, we call it as voltage. Yes.
No, sir, voltage.
Yes, that we call it as a voltage. That we call it as a voltage. This is what nothing but now if you start understanding from the first slide. Okay, if you start understanding the first slides, you can understand what is current. Now this flow of electric current, which appears to I can say happen simultaneously. Okay, this flow of electric current appears to happen simultaneously. Why this happens to simultaneously? Because of each free electrons. Okay, because of each free electrons. Okay, from one conductor to the other, or you can say from one atom to other, from one end of the conductor to other end of the conductor. Okay, not particularly different conductor. Okay, so from one atom to another atom, or you can say from one end of the conductor to other end of the conductor. So they start moving. So you can see it in this particular diagram. So all these electrons start moving. So this distance is not that much far. Okay, this distance is very, very, very small, or you can say very tiny distance is there. So what happens here? So here they start jumping from one atom to another atom. Okay, so and what happens? So that particular atom that loses its electron. Okay, so if you see this particular electron, okay, if it jumps from this atom to this atom, the second atom, okay, so it will lose these electrons. Okay, likewise if you see this particular copper atom, likewise if you see this particular copper atom, so what happens in this particular copper atom? If it starts jumping from one atom to another atom, so this atom, if these electrons start jumping from other atom, just jump towards the other atom, so this will, you can say, remove, this will be removed from, or you can say there is a proper word is there. Okay, it's like it will lose that particular electron. Okay, so lose that particular electrons to the neighboring atom. Okay, if it loses that particular electrons to the neighboring atom, so the neighboring atom, in otherwise what we can say, that the neighboring atom gains that particular electron. So in this case you can see that if this atom, okay, if this electrons if it start moving towards this atom, okay, so this atom lose this electron, whereas this atom gains this electrons. Okay, losing of electrons and gaining of electrons, this is what the concept. Okay, this is what the concept. So how, okay, simultaneously lose one electrons and neighboring atoms gains that particular electrons from another. So this is what one cascaded form, or you can say, you can see it here. This is what you can see it here. So this electrons, okay, these electrons move toward this direction, so this atom loses this electron, this gains this atom. At the same time, one electron from this atom moves towards this direction. So likewise this cascade, or you can say cascade, or what we can say, this is what, for example, maybe you have seen that one game is there. Okay, so think of that bucket brigade game is there. Okay, in that bucket brigade, what happens, that line of people who are there, okay, line of peoples are there, people's not, it's people, line of people are there, so each holding a bucket of water. Okay, so if you consider this is one person, this is, all these are the persons, so each person holding one bucket of water. Okay, one bucket of water, and there is water tank at this side. Okay, there is water tank at this side. Okay, and what happens, so this person takes water from this tank, and then this person passes this water to this person, again this person, and at the last you can see that, there is end. Okay, at the other end you can see that the full bucket is out. Okay, at the end you can see that there is a full bucket is out. So on command, each person passes his bucket to his neighbor on the right and accept a bucket from his neighbor on the left. Okay, so that means this, if we consider this person, so this person, what he is doing, he is passing the bucket of water to the neighbor of this at the right. Okay, at the same time, okay, the left person of this, okay, at the same time, the left person of this, he passes the full bucket of water to this person. Okay, this is what you can understand. Okay, so you can see that each bucket which moves just a shorter distance from one person to the next person, it appears as if the bucket of water is being transported, okay, from one end to the other end of that particular line. Okay, how it looks like, if you visualize that particular bucket brigade game, so it appears that the bucket of water is being transported from one end to other end. Okay, this is what the bucket brigade game. Okay, so it is in the similar way, in the similar fashion, you can understand the electric current as each electron displaces one in front of it another, okay, along with that particular conductive path. That is, we call it path. Okay, so electrons are moving nearly, you can say, instantaneously from one end of the conductor to the other end. If you see, this is what your conductor is there. Okay, if you see, this is what the conductor, or okay, if you see, this is what the conductor, or you can say that if okay, I will show you with the action also. Okay, stop representing. Okay, now if this, okay, now if this is what the we can say, this is what the pipe which I am locating, or which I am having in the hand. Okay, and you can consider this is as my हथौड़ी बोलते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं इसको, हथौड़ी को क्या बोलते हैं, हथौड़ी को क्या बोलते हैं, hammer, yes, sorry, I forgot the name. So if this is the hammer, okay, and if I start you can say marking this. So what happens? There is one vibration force is there inside to this pipe. Vibration will be there, okay, which is kind of you can say conduction. Okay, so there also you can say visualize the how these electrons or how this particular things are passing. So this is kind of wave things are there. If I start hammering on this pipe, okay, some kind of wave, you can say pulses are generated, and they are passing from one end to this end. From this end it will pass from this end. So it's like of thing, okay, it's like of things you can you can understand. Okay, this is what how this current is passed, how this current is flow, or you can say mobilization of or movement of current, movement of electrons in order to make a current, in order to create a current. Okay, now what we have understood that how these electrons are passing from one end one end of the conductor to the other end of the conductor. Okay, now when we talk about the strength of an electric current, this is what this line I'm speaking about. The strength of electric current, this is how it is defined. The strength of electric current, the strength of electric current is defined as how many charge carrier. Okay, charge carrier means always we are talking about electrons only. Usually electrons which is passed a fixed point in 1 second. This is what the strength of an electric current. So this, again I'm reading it. The strength of electric current is defined by how many charge carriers, usually electrons, pass a fixed point of 1 second, fixed point in 1 second. So how do we calculate that particular thing? We will calculate this in the this is what the unit, amperes is the unit, or sometimes you can refer this as amps, that is amperes, or in the circuit diagrams or in any mathematical problems it is abbreviated as a. This is what the ampere. So what is 1 ampere? So what is 1 ampere? You can see it here. So what is the definition? Again I'm reading the definition. The strength of electric current is defined by how many charge carriers pass in 1 second. So how many charge carriers, how many electrons are there? You can see this number. Okay, if you are trying to read this number, okay, number of zeros, it will take much more time. So what is 1 ampere? 1 ampere is defined as 6241 then 00000000000 electrons per second. This is what you can say, that how many charge carriers pass a fixed point in 1 second. This is what the electronic strength. Okay, and if you see in terms of 10 raised to 18, it is 6.241 into 10 to the power 18. This is what the exact number. Okay, so yes, so that is what this end of this. Okay, so this much PPT we have made. Okay, so in the next we will see the further part of this. Now if you understand, if you don't have any questions, okay, we can wind up this class. I will share you the attendance. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now. Okay, this is what the basic concept of electronic current or electric current. This is what I was about to explain. So do you have any questions? You can ask me. Otherwise I will share you the attendance sheet and you can mark your attendance. All are electronics mechanical students, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. तो आपको समझ में आ रहा है क्या मैकेनिकल के स्टूडेंट्स को? जस्ट लेट मी स्टॉप रिकॉर्डिंग फर्स्ट, वी कैन डिस्कस नाउ.